All right, we're starting a new part to this series. We talked about anger last week. Now I want to talk about, we're going to talk about 3 emotions this week and 3 next week. Dangerous emotions. It said emotions that can cause damage in recovery. And they say that this is a feeling disease, right? That I get high because of how I feel and my inability to cope and interpret how I feel. Wow. That's what I get high about. Step 1 says I admit that I'm powerless over my addiction and my life has become unmanageable. And so I learned early on that in the first couple of weeks, the first part is dealt with. Because that obsession and overwhelming obsession leaves us in about a couple of weeks. If it hadn't, we'll be gone. Yeah. You know, we've took the camera while I'm standing up here teaching and ran out the door with it. But guess what? I can let the camera sit there and the laptop and the TV. Why? Because the obsession is gone. That's right. If it was not gone, I'd be done that. That's right. And so now, but the hard part that I spend the rest of my life dealing with is the unmanageability of my life. Yeah. That's the lifelong journey, is learning how to deal with life on life terms. Yeah. Nothing traumatic happens to us moving forward. It's just life happens to us and we don't know how to deal with it. We don't know how to deal with those emotions of joy, happiness, anger, loneliness, despair, just normal stuff that everybody deal with it. We have a different processor. Yeah. You know, when I went to go buy this new laptop and the guy was talking computer talk to me, I said, look, man, I don't know what you're talking about. What type of processor do you want? Wow. Like, dude, I don't know what no processor is. Yeah. You want a dual processor? Dude. But guess what, y'all? It's the same way with us in recovery. All right. It's something wrong with our processor. Yeah. We don't have the proper processor. Yeah. So to handle the capacity of life, we can't process. So we shut down or misinterpret it and go out and use. Why? Just because we just couldn't deal with it. And guess what? Just because she has one processor, he may have another one. Yeah. Why? Based on what they got to deal with. That's what I believe that we have to work on. See, you got to deal with, Mimi had her eligibility today. She got 3 small kids, and she's 25. Well, she going to have to process different things than Melvin. Me and Melvin a little older than that. We ain't got no 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds running around. That's a whole nother process. That's right. All right. That's what I said too. Man, I just couldn't even, I'll pass out. Somebody handed me a 2-year-old, said, this is yours forever. I don't have it. I couldn't get there. Bless you, my child. Better you than me. But it's a blessing. I've been there, I've done that. Yeah. But I wasn't 57 when I done it, I bet you that. Yeah. Early in sobriety, it is often described as being an emotional roller coaster. And that's where we are when we first get clean. It's an emotional roller coaster, y'all. We don't know how to deal with those emotions. It says this refers to the way that people can experience such highs and lows from one day to the next. Sometimes even from 1 hour to the next. And guess what, y'all? I coined this phrase, we not necessarily bipolar, we just bipolar-ish. All right? Yeah. That's not a medical diagnosis. What? Because we know that people who are bipolar have extreme highs in the mania stage and they have real deep lows, right? Guess what? All addicts are bipolar-ish. Yeah. Because you see them one moment, they be happy, and the next moment they be sad, and you be like, what happened? And it may happen from day to day, and it may happen from hour to hour, and sometimes it's from minute to minute, where we be completely different people emotionally. Right? Yeah. staying clean.
That's right.
You know, you gotta watch us. Be like, what kind of mood is he in today?
Yeah.
It said these emotional swings begin to settle down after people have been sober for a few months, but may continue to be a challenge for many years. For me, I'm 26 years clean, and it's still a challenge for me. I still deal with how to handle my mood. Because I am an impulsive person. You know, and I have to watch that. You know, when I say I want something or I'm trying to do something, boy, I'm like a bull in a china factory. I'm going to go and make it happen. You know, it's hard to swing me around. And so, we have to be careful with how we manage our emotions.
That's right.
It says, early sobriety is often described, okay, went the wrong way, didn't I?
Yeah.
Or she put it on the choir.
Early on, go back.
I ain't wrong.
All right.
Gotta be something else.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna be the one wrong.
Okay.
First one, loneliness. Loneliness. She said, oh God. And loneliness is big, y'all. And check this out. Then anger, then fear. Those are three we're gonna focus on today. But we're gonna start out dealing with loneliness. It says there is a difference between being alone and feeling lonely.
Yeah.
It's a difference.
Yeah.
And we got to figure out what the difference is. You know, it's a difference between being alone. That's not what addicts deal with. That's not our struggle. We isolated. Our issue is feeling lonely and lonesome. And we do that in a crowd because we push people away.
Right.
But we long for you to be in our lives, but at the same time, I say it like this, we love like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
We push you away and try to pull you in at the same time. And if you get close to us, we push you away.
That's right. That's right.
But when you go away, then we victims.
Yeah.
And we'll say, you don't love me, don't nobody love me. It's just me and I'm all by myself.
Yeah.
Well, I tried to love you.
Yeah.
No, you didn't try to love me. Because we got a specific way that you got to love us, and it mainly means you got to do what I say, when I say, how I say, or you're not loving me appropriately.
That's right. That's right.
Talk about
And you must be an interpreter of how I feel. You got to be able to look at me in the forehead and be able to interpret what I want to be bothered, left alone, or whatever.
Wow.
And if you misinterpret that, then I'm mad.
That's right.
It's right in the forehead. You got to be able to look right in the forehead and interpret. Can you look at me in the forehead and interpret? Then it's going to be a problem. You can't miss either. You know, you got to be able to walk in the room and interpret whether I want you to come sit by me, ask me do I want something, or leave me alone. Just walk on by. You got to be able to figure that out.
Figure that out.
If you come in there and sit by me, I'm be like,
Yeah.
oh, can I just watch TV by myself?
I was saying.
You walk on by me, then like, you don't want to be in here with me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Could at least ask me, did I want something?
Yeah.
Am I by myself?
No.
I just want to see my people. Where my people at?
We're here.
Hallelujah!
We're here.
Y'all, people can't interpret. They can't. Ain't nothing on our forehead but skin. They can't do it. An individual may be standing in the middle of a crowd, yet still feel why? Because I don't let nobody in. Nobody gets to know me. Intimacy is the sharing of hopes, fears, desires, dreams That's how you get to know somebody.
That's right.
And that's what brings you close to somebody and lets somebody in when you be with somebody and you share your hopes and your desires and your dreams and your feelings. That's how they get to know you.
That's right.
And we don't typically do that. Loneliness is a subjective experience that involves strong feelings of solitude and emptiness. Y'all see that?
Yeah.
See, because when I'm feeling that loneliness, it says strong feelings of solitude and emptiness. It's that feeling of just feeling completely empty
Yeah.
and alone. And we had that. I dealt with that for years, and it had nothing to do with me being an addict. That was present way before I ever took a drug. And there's a chapter in the big book that talks about that. That this lady says, from my earliest existence, I never did react normally to life.
That's right. That's right.
And most of us deal with loneliness long before. And most of us came out of houses with siblings, but you still didn't feel like you were a part.
Right. Right.
It's like I was born into the wrong family. You know, these people look like me. They say they're my people, but I don't fit here.
Yeah.
It wasn't until, and I thought, that's why it says, I thought I had found, I needed something different, and I thought I had found it in drugs. It wasn't until I came into this fellowship, and I got with y'all crazy people, that I finally felt at home and around some people who actually knew me, and I said, these my people. See, they're my people. She throwed off, I'm throwed off. And we can share that, and guess what? I can share my crazy and still be accepted. And don't be judged. That's a wonderful thing. So I'm not alone. You know, then we go into these anonymous rooms like that. We let a few of these earth people in here, but they need to sign an agreement that they don't share what they seen. Be like, you the mom be like, whoa, there's something wrong with him. Yes, that is true. But when we walk out of this room, we put our mask on, and then don't nobody know that.
Yeah.
We just come into these places, and then we can say that.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's offensive, what I said, when we say, I never felt like I belonged. Because your family can be insulted by that. Or your mate can be insulted by that because they ain't done nothing but try to love us, but we just never let them in. You see what I'm saying? And you know, be careful with that one. It's true, but them people that look like you can't handle that. Yeah, like, oh, so you didn't feel like you belonged in this family. How do you answer that one? Julie, you raised your hand up. How do you answer that one? When your mom says, so you didn't feel like you belonged in the family? How do you answer that?
Or my thought is, after all I've done for you.
Right. See that? After all I've done for you, you don't feel like, so you come down here with these people, these crazy people, now you feel at home? It's not that y'all didn't love us, it's just the first time we heard our stories and we heard people who acted like us and felt like us, and we'd be like, wow, now I'm around some people who understand me. And I don't feel alone and lonesome anymore. Humans are social animals. So dealing with loneliness can be particularly difficult emotion to handle. In Genesis 3, in the Bible, when it says it's not good for a man to be alone, we think that means that he needed to boo up, he needed a woman. No, he seen the animals in community.
Yeah.
And we need to be in community. And it's not just being in the room with people, but having that intimacy with people. That makes sense? And so just because I'm in the room and ain't saying nothing, that ain't gonna give me that. And if we don't solve this one, I promise you, you will go out and use again. Next one, we talked about this one last week, so I won't spend as much time on this one. It's anger. Anger is probably the most dangerous of all emotions. Look at that lady. She got smoke coming out of her ears. You ever been there before where you could, it was smoke coming out, you could hear it, they call it. This is because when people are angry, they're unable to think straight. There is a certain level that we get to, you all, where it is considered temporary insanity. My mama used to say she's at the highest state of festivity. I don't know what that means, but she was there. I'm at the highest state of festivity. That means she is there. You know what that means?
Oh, I know what that means.
You do?
I do.
Wow. That's when the smoke about to come out of your ears, huh? Leave me alone.
Yeah.
But guess what, y'all? I learned this. You need to learn when you deal with anger, go from a scale of 0 to 10. And we have to rate things. See, if I take this out of Herman's hand, that may make him mad, right? But that has to be a 1 or a 2. Now if I go over there and hit him, that may rise to the level of an 8 or a 9 or something. They say he carry a gun, but I can grab him before he can get to his gun. But guess what? We take everything at the same level. Whether somebody took the paper out of my hand or they hit me, everything's a 10. We go out about everything. And guess what? It ought to be a proper response to the situation. You see what I'm saying? Everything shouldn't be that. I was on my way to work this morning. This lady wouldn't let me in, then she cut me off. What? I just wanted to so bad. At least stick my finger up and something. Says some kind of response. I said, well, I'm going to pull up beside her. I didn't do any of that, but all of those feelings were there. And I said, now, is this a 2 or is this a 10? That's a 2. My car wasn't hitting nothing, but I just wanted to do something. It wasn't that one of y'all, was it? So yeah, it was me. And so, guess what am I saying? You need to respond properly to the situation. We can't go off about everything, right? And for us in recovery, we get high when we get angry. Or, since we come from, let me say it this way, we come out of a world where people done stupid stuff. See, normal people don't fight. See, me going and running off the road, that's not a normal response, right? But when you coming from jail and out the street, we fight about stuff like that. Yeah. We go off. And so when we come into this normal, polite society, we got to figure out, how do people act in normal, polite society? And it's different, Mimi, than the way we deal with it on the block. They can easily fall into doing things that they later regret. It is natural for people to get annoyed from time to time. That's normal. People get on your nerves.
Yeah.
Some of y'all get on mine. I'll probably get on y'all. I doubt it because I'm so sweet.
Yes, you are.
Sweet as pie, what she said. See, she's no longer here. But it is vital that those in recovery are cautious around this emotion. See, I need to be cautious when I'm dealing with this thing called anger, because it'll get out of hand. Yeah. And guess what? I'll disappear and go out and get high because I didn't know how to deal with this thing called anger. It is a luxury that just cannot afford. And offensive anger and resentment are relapse triggers. And the book says that resentment is the #1 offender of drug addicts and alcoholics, right? And from it stems all spiritual diseases. So I got to be careful with this thing called anger and resentment, because once I get to that level of that highest state of festivity, addicts have this word where we know, I ain't gonna say the word, but y'all gonna know what I'm saying. It's the F-it word. When we get there, nothing matters. Nothing matters. We'll walk off our job, we'll leave our children, we'll quit our mate. When we get there, it don't even matter. Now, when we get out the door and come to ourselves, now we're going to be sick and crying. I done seen brothers for the whole time the program been in existence. They'll cuss me out, knock over something, and go stand out there in the middle of the street. And then it'll dawn on them that they ain't got nowhere to go, and they just be standing out there like this. I said, go out there and get that fool. Because it done came to itself now, and he realized, I ain't got nowhere to go. When I throw that temper tantrum, I wasn't thinking that, you know what, I ain't got nowhere to sleep tonight. Ain't no money. So sometimes we have to save one another from ourselves, you know, and I let them make it. I be like, you know what? All right. And family members, y'all seen that. Because we done told y'all, I don't need you no way. You don't love me, slam the door, walk off, and be standing out there somewhere, and you be like, let me go get this fool. You done seen that, right? Yeah. Let me go get him. He didn't mean it. It was a state of temporary insanity. But we don't have the right, you all, to do that at somebody else's expense. Let me say it this way. I read this in this book called Secrets of the Vine. And Bruce Wilkinson tells the story of this brother and this sister. And the dad told the brother every time that he would get angry, go out there and nail a nail in the fence. And so that's what he would do when his mother or his father or his little sister make him mad. He would go and knock a hole, you know, drill a nail into the fence. And he said, and when you stop being mad, go and take the nail out. And he's seen all of the splinters that it had caused when he took all of the nails out. And he said, son, that's the damage that you cause other people when you say and do ugly things in anger. Even though you ask for forgiveness, it still leaves scars and hurts. So we have to learn how, as the Bible says, to be angry, but sin not. I was telling a guy today that's thinking about getting married. He said, man, we had our first argument. I said, good, because y'all gonna need to learn how to fight fast. Be angry and not say ugly things that you don't, you know, that you, because we remember that. It's something, you know, like, okay, I ain't gonna be too many more of these, whatever. My friend over there, what you ain't gonna do.
I like that one.
Yeah, what you ain't gonna do. Anger would never disappear so long as thoughts of resentments are cherished in the mind. Y'all see that? And guess what? Those thoughts be in our mind, right? We can remember things. I remember this lady, I'm going to her, one of my friend's mother. She will be 80 years old next Saturday. So I'm going to leave from the family meeting and go to her party. I figured out I was 8 years old. And she said to me, I was drinking some water and I spilled it. She said, boy, you so dumb. It's like you got 2 holes in your head. I still remember that. And I'm going to say something to Miss Hudson when I get down there, sir. I'm going to say happy birthday, and I'm going to give her money, and I'm going to say I am still hurt. She 80, she probably ain't going to remember 72 years ago. Should I say something to her about it, or should I just let that go? But it still hurt me. I shouldn't say nothing.
Shoot.
I'm going to tell her. That hurts me. She said, you must got 2 holes in your head. 1 tell her I got a tooth on my ears, tooth on my nose. But then she probably would have boxed me. Fear of the future. Check this out, y'all. Fear, now we get to fear within. Fear of the future not only keeps people trapped in addiction, it can also prevent them from making progress in recovery. We are so afraid. We live in this state of what if.
Yeah.
Is this going to happen like this? Have I messed it up? Am I going to be able to get my family back? Am I going to be able to get a good job?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Have I wasted so many years? And so the future keeps us trapped. And so it becomes overwhelming. And we either go back and use or do nothing. Fear, God gave us this fear as a gift for fight or flight. Y'all hear me? Satan uses it to paralyze us or make us retreat. And so we get afraid, and Satan uses it like the lion, and we just stop and go nowhere. But God gave us that to fight or flight. So when I'm scared, I'm supposed to do something, right? I'm either supposed to fight or I'm supposed to run. But Satan uses it, we don't do nothing. We in our theme for this church has been do something. And so Pastor talked about it this morning. And I've been knowing it's something that I believe in my heart that God wants me to do. And I've been knowing it for about 15 years. And I ain't done it yet. And so I'm going to try to do it this year. And you know what's been stopping me? Fear has paralyzed me. Yes. And I seen this sister over there. And I was telling my wife and my daughter, I was like, shoot, she's doing everything that I said I was going to do. And shoot, she put it in action. And my scary butt ain't done nothing. I'm so envious of you, I don't know what to do. It takes something to step out on a dream, you know. And a lot of us have dreams in our head. Les Brown says it this way. He says, what is the richest place in the world? He says the graveyard. He said, because that's all of the dreams and goals people die with. And they say everybody has a multi-million-dollar dream that they've had, just never lived up on. You know how we'll rig something and make it work? You know, like somebody thought of this tripod. You know, you done had inventions that you probably use around your house that you came up with and that you done passed it down, but you never took it to patent because you just didn't go. I've been wanting to do this right here and write my curriculum and publish it and go around the country and teach people how to do this for about 15, 20 years. I ain't bit more done it in a man in the moon. And when I do it, I do it for free. Meeting with these people, about 4 or 5 churches. They're going to come down here next week. Tell me how to do this. See, if I had my curriculum written, then I would say, okay, I will do this and you pay me this amount and you can buy this material and you can take it back. But I'm going to give it away because I haven't packaged it yet. Ain't that something? Crazy me. But I ain't the only one in here. Y'all got some too, right? That you know God is telling you to do. I don't know how we got there, but we did. It said the most common fear that people experience will include financial insecurity, especially those of us in recovery. You know, we done wasted so much time and we don't think we're going to make good money. That's what me and Mimi was talking about. You know, like, shoot, I done lived fast and I made a whole bunch of money and now my job skills don't necessarily match my desire and taste. Like they tell me, boy, you got Rolls Royce taste with a Volkswagen budget. You know, I want big things, I ain't got big money. You know, and so now when you get around my age, Mimi, in your 50s, you're going to start thinking about retirement. Because we don't want to live well and then retire and eat cat food. You know, when we can't work no more, then, you know, it's like, Boy, you live well, but now you can't